Hi, I'm your host, Timothy Alexander White.
And I'm your co-host, Kawana Dyson, and right now you are tuned in to Bluetooth Television, your entertainment network on Festival at Sea.
And we have very special guests with us tonight. Just finished performing an outstanding concert. It was a praise party going on here. These ladies have never performed at Festival at Sea, and we're so grateful and thankful to have them here. Tina and Erica, we know them as Mary Mary. I'm so glad to welcome you both here to Festival at Sea. Thank you so much for being here. Now,
thank you. Thank you for having us.
You are welcome. My comment to you is you won American Music Awards, Dove Awards, 4 Grammy Awards. Tell us, how did this happen? How did that come about? What did you do? What's going on?
God, it was God.
We
hard work. We've been a lot of hard work. We are really, really serious about the music that we sing, and we write our own music. I think what allows us to execute it and deliver it so authentically, because we write it and it is our stories, our testimonies. And being sisters, you just kind of have a synergy on stage, and it just, I guess people kind of connect with it, and I think everybody likes to be encouraged, and our music is really very encouraging and inspirational, and that resonates with everybody.
And ultimately, you really don't know what the equation is for winning a Grammy. You just try to do music that's from your heart. You try to give your heart and soul in the studio, and even live, you try to give the most heartfelt, just authentic performance. And you do the best that you can, and you pray that God will bless it. And that's what has happened.
Right.
Because we haven't won every Grammy. We've been nominated for 10. We haven't won all of them. And if we had the equation, I'd have had 10 Grammys by now. So we just got.
I'd have borrowed one of them, and I don't even sing.
Right. We work hard. And, do what we do. We try to be innovative every time we're in the studio. We don't go chase hits. What is everybody doing? We try to be what is authentic to us. We try to really truly be inspired so that we can give what we really believe to the world. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's fresh, make sure it's something that we like to groove to and just hear,
Why you gotta dance while you're talking though?
Like if the music don't make me,
it's coming all over.
I
can feel this.
Speaking of authenticity, you guys are like the first, I would say, aside from Kirk Franklin, the first female group to have crossover music where you walk in the club and you hear Shackles on my feet and everybody dancing in the club. So how do you feel about that you're able to reach more than just the gospel?
I love it. That was the intention. That's a huge blessing. I think any Christian, your aim is to share your light with people who don't know and haven't heard. And so everybody ain't coming to church. Everybody ain't turning to the gospel station. So there are some of us that have to be played in different places in order to shine that light and be that source of strength. People are in the club and sometimes they're going to have a good time, but you don't know what people are going through. Maybe my song is the one that comes on and they go, dang, I don't have to take my life tonight, Or they feel some kind of hope and help and know that they're not alone. So we're very grateful for that.
When it comes down to writing, do you have a special time? Do you write better at night or in the daytime? Or do you set aside time to write?
There is no science, no rhythm, no rhyme. Sometimes you're at home, sometimes you're in the car, sometimes we're in the studio, and then we're in the studio. It's like, let's just go home, and then we come back with complete lyrics and melody. It's just inspiration hits you at different times.
Are you in the studio every day?
No, not at all.
If we was in the studio every day, we wouldn't be able to be like here. So no, we do schedule time. No, but we do when we're making records, we try to slow down because it's a different kind of skill. It's a different kind of gifting to be able to write and communicate your passion in the studio. It's completely different from live. So sometimes we got to steal away from this and then go do that for a while. So we try to do it when our schedule is slowing down a bit and kind of have multiple days back to back in the studio.
Now I know, Tina, you shared such an amazing testimony about your personal life, and there's so many hurting women who are on this ship today who's going through the same thing that you're going through. And for you to be so open with your situation, so many women are going to be delivered. That their marriages are going to change, and you're so strong. And I just want to commend you for sharing that testimony because it's very powerful. So.
Yeah, I think there's so many people that have dealt with infidelity in their marriages, and most women feel like they have a right to be angry, and I should go do what he did, and I got a right. You're gonna owe me for the rest of your life, but if that's the way, 2 wrongs do not make a right, and if that's the way you live in the rest of your life, you ain't happy. And what is your big problem with something like that happening? Your happiness was tainted and it was ruined. So are you gonna practice unhappiness for the rest of your life? That's not what you want. You know what I mean? You've got to find that place where you can forgive, where you can accept what has happened. If you feel like there's really value with this person and this is a good person, that got themselves in a bad situation, or as a woman, you have to be honest. What was my contribution? And I don't think anybody should take responsibility for someone else's decision. You made the mistake. It is your fault that you chose that, because you could have practiced some control or something. You know what I'm saying? You could have ran in the other direction.
Yeah.
But we as women also have to be honest that perhaps we are contributors. What is it that made home feel like it had to go somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? So you have to think of those kinds of things, and you ultimately have to feel like, if this is worth sticking around, how do I get through this, come out on top, love again, be happy, and find what we lost? And that's kind of my mission. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? And it could be some brothers out there that it could help, because it could be some good men who, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't feeling their wife during a certain stage, and they didn't know how to communicate what the need was, and then they went outside, and then they're really sorry, and they really want to do the right thing. But you know, you treat them like they're a dog and they're a horrible person, and really they're not. They're a good person who made a bad mistake, and they need to be forgiven. So it wasn't just for the women; it was for the dudes too. You know, and I pray that my situation it becomes everything that I hoped it could be the day that I got married, because it is possible.
Not to mention that, especially as a minister, when you talk about God's grace and how He's a forgiving God, and then you find yourself in a situation, you have to extend that same grace, and so I think that's honorable.
Oh yeah, what does the Lord's Prayer say?
Yes.
Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
Yes.
The only problem is we want God's forgiveness, but we think, well, you God, you perfect, you can forgive easily.
I don't want to forgive my debtors.
It's gonna be a little hard for me, God, because you know I ain't perfect like you. But ultimately, we can't ask God for something and pray for this great blessing, and we don't want to extend that to somebody else. So it's definitely not easy.
I think your genre of music, being gospel, it's sort of a safety net, because most music came from gospel. You know, some of the secular singers, but you're still in gospel. So it's like the base is the bottom. So full circle, gospel, maybe some R&B for some, and then you're back to gospel, because it's like the safety. And I'm glad to see that you're still doing gospel, is what I'm saying, because I believe gospel music is going to outlast any other kind of music because of the message that is delivered there, and is what, you know, Christ comes back. The gospel music, I think, is something that really gives people the healing. Other songs, I'm not knocking any other artists, any other songs, but it's feel-good music, but gospel music is more something that brings you joy.
We'll be gospel till the day we die. I won't sing anything other than gospel, period. I mean, we've been asked, and you know, we've you know, done some features on different songs, but I am a gospel artist. If I'm on a rock and roll song, it's a gospel artist on a rock and roll song.
Let me ask this, our time is running short right now, but if you weren't singing gospel, if you weren't singers, what other career do you think you would be doing? What do you think?
Wow, there's so many other things that we do that we probably will get into. So it's not just singing. Like I did makeup. I did makeup prior to doing this. That's the face. Is it beat?
It's flawless, girl.
Don't miss
it's
it.
Flawless.
Erica used to do hair, so we were into beauty. I mean, we're writers, so we actually write. You know, Erica writes books. We both actually write books. You know, we've got children's music that we've done, and just countless other things that I think, because music is our passion, that's where we put all of our attention. But as you get a little older and your life starts to expand, you're like, being gone all the time, Tori, is a whole lot. So you're like, what are the other things that I'm really good at that has been laying dormant? Like, it's time to tap into that. So I think some of the writing will definitely.
I think I'm going to always have a microphone at some point in time. Well, I don't really imagine myself or even think of myself as something other than, there's other things that I do, but I'm a singer.
So you'd be singing if you wasn't singing.
If I wasn't singing, I'd be singing.
You'd be singing.
A book in one hand and a microphone in the other.
That sounds good to me.
What is it like being sisters in the gospel together?
Girl.
Like in a group together. I mean, because I know as
Wonderful and
siblings we
horrible.
fight. You know what I mean?
Horrible.
But y'all can't go nowhere. It's love and hate.
You know, it's like any family.
It's hot,
relationship.
cold.
Exactly. Sometimes you have horrible days, and you know you fight horrible more than anybody.
Right.
But we love each other hard, so it's just like regular family.
Yeah, we
We're
fight.
not even related.
Y'all ain't even blood.
But anyway, we've got to wrap this up. They've got to prepare for another concert. We've got to go. But we want to thank you guys so much for coming out and being so cordial with us and so informative. We love you guys. So thank you so much for being here. All right.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Blue Tube Television. This is Mary Mary.